I went from 6K trophies to 7K trophies in less than 2 weeks. Now, a lot of people might disagree with me, and the reason why I say that is because I actually use 3 different decks to do this, and some people are taught and shown to use one deck and only be good, basically use one deck and get really, really good at it, which yes, you definitely want to make sure you get good at your decks, but I'm here to tell you that you do not have to only use one deck. As a matter of fact, I feel like the higher you push up, the more you're going to have to be more versatile and use different decks. But regardless, I use 3 different decks to push from 6K trophies all the way to 7K trophies. Now for the skeptical ones, because some of you probably like rolling your eyes like whatever, you know, blah, blah, blah. For the skeptical ones, 13 days ago, I did a video. Go check it out on my channel. As a matter of fact, I'll leave the link for that video on this particular video at the end of this video. But that video that I did is called "They Should Ban This Deck," and that was with the giant deck that I used. The reason I'm mentioning this is because 13 days ago I did that video, and I used that giant deck, one of my favorite giant decks, and that was the video that I told you guys I'm pushing from 6K trophies to 7K trophies, and I'll be at 7K trophies before the end of the month. I believe it was at like 6,100 trophies or something like that. But regardless of that, that particular deck, that was the first deck that I used. So that deck I did a few live matches on that actual video. That way, so if you guys haven't seen that video, definitely go check it out on my page. But yeah, I used that deck from, I think it was like 6,100 trophies. I pushed that all the way to 6,400 trophies. Once I got to 6,400 trophies, I found it harder to keep going with that deck, so I switched it up. All right, so if you look at my last video, which I will also link that on this video also, the last video I did was my Evolved Royal Recruit deck. That was the deck that I ended up having to make. Let's scroll down a little bit, let's find it. But yeah, that was the deck that I had to end up making once I got to 6,400 trophies, because I couldn't get past the barrier at 6,400 with the giant deck that I was using, and it was due to the particular matches I was getting. A lot of people were using, you know, like Evolved Firecrackers and Mega Knight, and people were using like the Elixir Golem and stuff like that. And that deck that I had was not working, so I switched it up. And let's see, let's go down real quick. Okay, so right here, so this match against Cold Gaming right here. I'm showing you this because this is the original deck, and if you go look at my last video, you'll see. So the Royal Recruits, Fireball, Goblin Gang, Guards, Hog, Goblin Hut, Arrows, and Princess. This is the deck right here that I ended up making, and the reason why is because I have Evolved Warrior Recruits, and I wanted to make an army around my Evolved Warrior Recruits. Evolved Warrior Recruits are the only ones that I have that are evolved, so I wanted to use it. Funny enough though, I couldn't figure out how to use the Evolved Warrior Recruits at first. I used them regular because I didn't realize that you have to slide the troops to the first slot. It took me like 6 or 7 matches to figure that out, and I was like, holy crap. But regardless of that, even if you don't have Evolved Warrior Recruits, you can use regular recruits with this army and it still dominates. Not kidding. So if you guys are stuck in the 6,000 range, if you're stuck at a hump at 63, 64, 65, wherever you might be stuck at in that range, and obviously this is for people that haven't passed 7K yet. If you are like at 8K or 7,500 or 9K, you know, you don't have to watch this video. And if you are watching this video, awesome. But this isn't me, like this isn't for you guys, obviously. But this is for people that might be stuck in the 6,000s. But yeah, so this army right here, it's incredible. And you don't have to have the Warrior Recruits evolved. But regardless of that, I started using this army at 6,400 trophies. And this army pushed me from 6,400 trophies all the way up to 6,800 trophies. Like I said, I did a video on that, the last video that I did. Go check that out. I'll leave the link at the end of this video for you guys to go check that out if you have not yet. Now, moving on from there, once I got the 6,800 trophies, I started realizing, okay, so it's not, you know, it got me there and it was working okay, but I was still finding it hard to push past the 6,800s. I'd get to like 68, 30 something, and then I get shoved right back down to 67. So I had to switch it up. And I was looking at the opponents that I was going against, I'm like, okay, people are using Elixir Golem, people are using Mega Knight, people are using Firecracker, Evolved Firecracker, Evolved E-Barbs. So what can I make that's gonna, stop all that crap? So let's scroll up a little bit. All right, so where are we at right now? All right, so here we got 60. Okay, so 6830 right here. Then I did another match against Slimeo. But yeah, I did another match against him. I got to 6859. I did one more match, I think, against. Was that the last match I did? Okay, yeah. So I did one more match with this deck against Oops right here, and I got to 6888. So I take that back. This deck got me to 6888 trophies. Then I did another match, thinking that I'd be able to push into or actually, I'm sorry, my bad. This particular deck got me to 6916. Sorry, but I did one more match, thinking it was going to push me to 7K. And then I got completely knocked right back down into the 6800s. So after this, I decided, okay, because I kept on pushing up and then getting knocked back down. I couldn't get past the 6900s, so I was like, okay, I got to switch it up. So I realized I was going against a lot of people with Mega Knights and Elixir Golems and stuff like that. So I decided to switch my deck up a little bit. So what I did at first was I added in an Elixir Golem, and I tested that out on the next game. I ended up losing. It didn't work out too good. I tried it again against Argante Albino. Didn't work. And after that match, I sat back and I was like, okay, so I'm losing, and a lot of these people are like pretty much getting me because I don't have a solid defense to stop them from getting my tower. So then I was like, you know what? Screw this. To avoid the hogs, because I dealt with a lot of hogs too, to help avoid the hogs and anything else that might like rush towards the tower, how about I replace my hog with a hunter, and then how about I put an actual defensive building in, like a Tesla? So that's what I did. I took out my hog, and then I took out my my goblin hut, which a goblin hut, I guess, could be used as a defensive structure, but it's weak and it's not as effective as a Tesla, in my opinion. But I replaced those two. So I went from not having those and losing my last two matches, as you guys can see here, one against Cold Gaming, one against Agante Albino, and then I switched it up, and then I went ahead and added in the Tesla and the Hunter, and then from there on, that particular switch up took me from 6832 trophies, and this is the initial deck that actually took me to the 7K trophy range. And then I'll go ahead and show you guys, that way you guys don't think I'm BSing with you. Like I said, I'm very transparent. Well, I said it in my last video, which if you haven't seen my last videos, guys, go check them out on my page. I won't upload them unless I feel like they're fire, meaning they're informational, like I'm not going to upload trash stuff. All right, so I switched it up right there. So starting from this match right here. Okay, so yeah, 68-32. Then I won the next one, 68-64. Then I won the next one, 68-93. So I went ahead and breezed through the 6800s into the 6900s against Right Fence right here. And as you guys can see, a lot of these guys use Elixir Golem and stuff. All right, and then up here against Captain Ed, 68-93. Oh, actually, Captain Ed I ended up losing against. That dude was actually really good player, really good player. And then the next match after that, I did a 3-crown against King of Realm, 68-63. Another match against Royalty King, 68-91. 3-crown against Chowder Gun, 69-21. 3-crown against Black, 69-50. And by this time, I'm just sitting there with confidence with this deck. Like this deck, like I'm just on fire with this deck, which is why you see so many 3-crowns. Like some of these guys are just like, like they're just getting 3-crown regardless. And then I was at 69-81, and I was one more match away from 7,000. And then I went against Lens. This Lens dude was ridiculous. I couldn't figure out how to get past him. It was a very close match, and actually, if you want, I'll show you the video on that. If you guys stick around later on in this video is not going to be a crazy long video though. Then after that, after losing against Lens and dropping back down, and I was like one battle away from 7K trophies, I go against Edis, I beat him, so 69.53. And then I go against Modi. I beat him back at 69.81 because I'm pretty sure I was at 69.81 before I went against Lens. So I'm back at the one more battle stage right here. So against Modi, I beat him. All right, so the final judgment battle against GHD. And as you guys can see, I beat him. And wait, hold up. Wait, what did I? Okay, I'm tripping right now. My bad. Sorry, guys. Okay, so these two top ones are league battles. These weren't a part of the trophies right here. That's what threw me off. Okay, but regardless, I beat Modi, and I was at 69.81. That gave me 27 trophies, and that leaves me at 7,800 trophies. I did a few more matches in the league as well, just to see just how crazy this deck is. And I believe that I can use this deck to at least push to 7,500 trophies, if not 8K trophies. And that's my next goal for next month, is to push to 8 trophies by the end of next month. And I'm dead serious about this, guys. I'm not going to sit here and make these videos and post them and BS. That's just not who I am. I'm very transparent and everything like that. So with that being said, if you're stuck in the 6,000 trophy range, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not the best player in the world, not yet at least, but I can show you what I did, and I can show you exactly how, which I just did. I show you exactly how I went from 6,100 trophies all the way to 7K trophies in 13 days, less than 2 weeks. So like I said, I'll link the video. The first video was they should ban this deck. That was the giant deck. That's when I started at 6,100 trophies. And that's when I said on that video that I'm pushing the 7K trophies by the end of the month. Right now, what's today? Today's September 23rd of 2023. But regardless, go check that video out. And then also check out my last video with my Royal Recruits deck. And with that original deck that got me from 64 to 68. And then my little tune-up with it. I'll only switch 2 cards out, but you know, me taking out the Hog and taking out the Goblin Hut and adding the Hunter and the Tesla. So I don't know, I'm going to mess around a little bit. I'm at 7K trophies now. Like I said, my goal is to push to 8K trophies. So I might have to tweak it a little bit more. Oh, that's right, I added a Witch too. I forgot about that. So I also added Witch. My bad, guys. So I took out the Princess and I added the Witch also. And I think the main reason why I took the Princess out was because a lot of the players that I was going against had hard counters for my Princess. So it was getting to a point where I was in trophies where it was getting kind of pointless. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and add that out. I was trying to keep the Princess to keep the army kind of low. But I realized, you know what? Heavier might be better. So I made my deck a little 4.1 elixir deck. So it's not crazy expensive, but it's a little bit on the heavier side, but that's the thing about this deck though. And I'll show you guys a few videos if you want. Also, if you stick around, once this push starts, it's pretty much impossible to stop. So very, very solid deck. But yeah, man. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna recommend, if you're stuck in the 6K trophy range, just try it out. You know what I'm saying? If you're just only using one deck and you've only been using one deck your whole time and you keep losing for the same exact reasons, maybe it's time to switch it up. With that being said, let's get into some actual action with this, in my opinion, legendary deck, because it pushed me to 7K trophies in a record-breaking time. And let's just check it out.